contour. So people, I remember when I was in high school, the way we were taught to do contour was like, just take a brush and do a 3 and you're done. If anything, nowadays we differentiate contour and bronzing. So bronzing is to warm up the face. So naturally, when you do bronzing on the face, you will do like in the shape of a 3, and you will maybe even put some like on the top of your nose, because that's where you tend to tan a little bit, or even on your chin. Contour is a bit different. So contour is just working with shadows and lights. So here's like a contour kit that I have. Both of these are matte. This highlight originally was not a shimmery shadow. It was just a light color. So lighter than your skin tone. Just a light color. And contour is just your skin tone, but a bit darker. Every single time, so this, I'm showing you guys this, but I don't really like it, because I don't like when we put labels on something. Every single time we talk about face shapes and like, what goes best on this face shape? Every single time a person will be like, okay, well fine, then what is my face shape? And the thing is, the reality is, you can't classify someone as one thing. Like, I am not just one of these. I'm a combination of them. So I want to look at contour not in the way that we usually look at it and be like, what is your face shape? What do you need to do to it? But rather taking each section of your face separately, so the forehead, the middle of your face, and the chin, and be like, what would I like to do with that portion of my face? So I'm gonna start with the. Actually, you don't have to lean back all the way.
I feel like it was bad because every time I drank water, it's just like me.
So the ideal, and again, this is like, doesn't mean anything. It just means that the usual face shape that people try to go for is the oval face shape, which is there. It's a face shape where the height of the face is a little bit longer than the width, and it's very rounded, very soft. When I say ideal, I'm not actually being serious.
That's what they teach, right?
That's what they teach. Again, like usually when you learn makeup, you tend to learn the rules and then be like, I don't like the oval face shape, so I'm gonna contour to get this face shape. Currently, if anything, the face shape that is very popular and considered to be beautiful is the heart face shape.
Really?
In like when you look at stars and people like that, they tend to really like the heart face shape.
Does it go in trends?
It does. I feel like there were a moment in time where the round face shape was quite popular. It's like very childish, very like youthful looking, yeah. What?
You're being serious about my face. What? I don't see potato.
I just drank water, babe.
Valerie.
Oh, sorry. I keep like.
That's okay. No worries.
These are just photos of Kim Kardashian.
We have a photo.
We have a photo.
We have one.
Okay, so before we actually start, like separate, you can.
I know.
I'm not going to talk about those two. Okay.
Okay.
Before we actually get to be like, okay, I want to work on my forehead. I want to work on this. I want to work on that. You need to look at the overall proportions of your face. So, how high is your face? How wide is it? When we look at like both of us, our proportions are very, very different. If anything, for example, my height is very, very close to my width. So if I were to look at face types, I'd be like round or square.
Zata, thank you so much for gifting to Trank. Thank you. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's so kind of you. So for example, my face shape would actually be closer to these two because the height of my face is actually quite close to the width of it. So it's like my face is a bit shorter and a bit wider. Whereas Mel, your face is a bit longer when you look at it. As you can see, like when you take this dimension and the dimension of the width, this part is a bit longer than the width. Mm-hmm. So when you look at that, you have to realize, okay, so this is my overall proportion. What do I want to do with it? For example, for me,
oh my gosh, gracious! Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my gosh, it's like you're single-handedly going to take us over to the weekly circle. Thank you so much.
Wait, how much?
That's really kind of you.
Oh my god, yes, we're almost there.
We're so close. Thank you. Thank you so much. For those of you who don't know,
I never saw your alert. for that one. That's the first time I've seen it.
That's a gifted one.
Oh, that's fun.
That's cute, isn't it? And for
It's
those
so
of you
cute.
who don't know, if we hit 50 in a week, then I'll do an extra stream the week after where the subs will send in some references and we'll build a look on that. But that's all me. So. She's not here.
Yeah, I'll just come back and be like, what? You said that there was an extra stream.
I'm back.
I understood that as I was supposed to be.
Dusty says, looking at these shapes, they also look like eyebrow shape is different for each one too.
Yeah, I think they've done a little bit of eyebrow shapes different, but it's like it's not a rule. It doesn't mean that a round shape like this eyebrow shape is the best one for it. It's just, I think, an example in this one. I took this image off Google, to be honest. I didn't really look at it. I was like, face shape, that's what I wanted to talk about. But like, as I was saying, look at your overall proportion first. So for me, for example, I would be like, my face is a bit short and a bit wide. So if what I would want to get closer to that oval face shape that we talked about earlier would be, I would want to make it longer and thinner to get closer to the oval face shape. Mel's face, I think proportion-wise, you're very close to the oval face shape. So then it all comes to like, do you want to make it longer? Do you want to make it shorter? Do you want to make it wider, thinner, whatever? That's like a decision that's up to you to make.
I really like diamond.
Yeah, I know that. I know you do. Mel really likes like angles.
I like sharp. I want to look like Hades from Hercules. Oh my god, Zaza, thank you so much.
Oh.
Thank you. This is really, really wonderful. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you. Especially while we're on the front page as well. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can just choose what you want to do. I mean, even I could choose. Even if I could be like, I don't care. I'm very happy with the fact that my face is a bit shorter, and be like, yeah, I just want to keep it that way. So that's like one thing that you need to take into account first is your overall proportion of your face.
Oh my goodness.
So wait, oh my god, wait,
Nice, thank you so much. Thank you. Was that your Twitch Prime with me? Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Everything really helps. Thank you. Dusty mentioned earlier she just wants to clarify that eyebrow shape and face shape don't have a set rule.
Yeah, they don't. They definitely don't.
Yes, they don't.
Yes, they don't. No, they don't. Okay, yeah. No, they don't have a set rule. You can, because like, for example, your face shape could be round, but every feature inside it could be very pointy. So it'd be like, well, like, because sometimes we'll be like, oh, if your face shape is, oh, yes, they don't. Okay, got it. If you were, like, for example, if you have a round face shape, everyone says like, oh, your brows need to be very angular to counteract that. But what if every other feature is pointy in your face? Like, how you need to find the right balance. And also it's like up to taste. So for example, my face shape is a mix of these two, round and the square. And normally, like, since the top part of my face is rather round, as you can see, I would need to have like very pointy eyebrows, but I'm just like, I don't like that. So I find like pointed eyebrows to be a bit harsh. Like, they make you seem a little bit older as well, and I prefer a softer look, so I just do it round. There's no like real rule to that. Based on the other features of your face, yeah, exactly. The rules change. Do boys and men fall in these categories too? They do. So the thing is, I don't really like these categories because no one falls in like one category. Like, I'm in two of them, depending on which area of the face you're looking at. This is just an example to show you what you could work with and how you could not correct, but shape your face to where you want it to look like to a way that you enjoy it. So, for example, we went over a face that was shorter. So mine is, for example, my face is quite short. So I would want to make it, for example, longer. If you have a long face, so that means that your face is much longer than it is wide, what you might want to do is actually make the face a bit wider and make it seem a little bit shorter. Okay, so that's the overall proportions. And now if you go, so this is why I don't like these categories, is that it's best to separate your face into 2 to 3 sections. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness gracious, Nyrish, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
I think you're gonna get your extra stream.
It would be lovely. Thank you. Also, Paradise. Paradise says, being a guy, I'm really a novice on makeup, but I really like the subject and I'm really enjoying the stream. So it's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm really pleased. You like it.
I take a very I feel like I take a very scientific approach.
I love that though. I love that.
I feel like I look at it
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like the color wheel. I was like, when you see people like blending together the eyeshadows that make brown, and they're like, this palette is rubbish. Like, I can't blend anything. Like, not approved. And you're like, no.
Yeah. And then when you know like the color wheel and how it works, you're just like, yeah, but that's why. That's why it doesn't blend properly. And that helps you do your eyeshadow look as well, because it'd be like, oh, I want to do a purple and a yellow look. You're like, oh wait, but they're on the opposite side of the color wheel. I can't blend them together, so I need to find like a
middle color.
A middle color to help with the blending.
Oh, they say that they love the scientific approach.
Thank you so much.
Gosh. I'm really pleased. We've put a lot of work into this,
really
guys,
kind.
as you can probably tell.
Yeah. So, when you look at these face shapes, what I find is best is to actually separate your face in either 2 sections or 3 sections. So either you do like above the nose and below, either you do to the eyes, so just forehead and up, the cheekbones, and then the jaw. So if I were to separate, for example, my face into 2 sections, the top of my face is round, and the bottom of my face is a bit more square. I actually have like a jawline that is more defined than it would be if it was round, completely round. Your face shape, Mel, is actually, like, I would say it would be oval on the top. See, your face shape the closest would actually be the heart one, but you don't have, I'm sorry, but you don't have the widow's peak.
For those of you who don't know, I've always wanted a widow's peak because Wednesday Addams has one, and I loved her as a child, and I've always wanted a widow's peak, and I think they're beautiful. Like, Elise hates hers, and it breaks my heart.
I hide it, so technically, like, the top of my face is like that, yeah.
Right, but I love that.
It makes my forehead too high, so I just hide it.
Anyway, I really like. She's like, you would have a heart if you had the widow's peak.
I'm just like taunting you.
But you don't, so.
So I'm sorry, but. So the top of your face is rather oval.
Which is this one.
Which is this one. Yeah, because I wouldn't say it's... I mean, you could say it's round, but as we said, like, your face is quite longer, so I'd say the top of your face is more oval. Mm-hmm. And then the bottom of your face is a bit more like a heart, because it comes more to a point than mine does. As you can see, my chin is a bit wider.
I'm so confused which time. Okay, so they're like the heart. Oh my god! Tadaya, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're so generous.
You don't want it, makes it so hard to... Guys, I will take your widow's peak.
Theo, thank you. Oh my god, Theo understands. It'd be like, but it makes my forehead higher, so I just hide it. It's like a natural contour with just hair. Just brush it.
Like a very slight comb over.
Yeah, if you look at our chin, so for example, mine is actually quite wide, whereas yours is really like, it's this thin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you would be a heart, or even a diamond, even more,
which is this one.
Which is this one. But it's because it's very pointed compared to, like, for example, a square, which is like more angular, and so this would be wider. So let's start with the forehead first. This is the part where people tend to contour the way it's shown on YouTube, but that doesn't necessarily suit that doesn't suit what they're imagining in their head, like what they want to go to. They're just taught, like, oh, you need to shade on the sides here, and that might not actually be what they want. So my face shape is actually like a perfect example for this. Since my face shape is round, I actually want to make my face thinner. So on the forehead, I would have to shade the sides. When you put a darker color, you're sort of bringing that back, so you're making it seem thinner. So I would shade here. The thing is, I have quite like a high forehead compared to you. People with high foreheads like me, they would actually want to shade up here because they want to shorten their forehead. They're like, oh, my forehead's too big. I don't like it. I want to shorten it. The thing is, if I shorten my forehead, I make my face even shorter.
And you do have small head.
And I already have a small head.
If you can see.
Yeah,
from my side.
Yeah. So if I make my face shorter, then that just beats the purpose. I mean, it goes against what I'm looking to do in the first place, which is to make my face look longer. So I have to choose. I have to be like, okay, am I gonna stay with this forehead and then shade here to make my face thinner and therefore seem longer? Or do I shade here to make my forehead seem shorter, but then I just shorten my whole face and it just seems even more round than it already is?
Yeah, so you have to pick which one you want to go
Exactly.
for. Right?
So same thing, for example, if you were to look at the round face shape, you wouldn't want... So everyone shades the size of their forehead because that's what everyone tells you to do.
Yes, you get the,
Like the
put contour here, and here, and there. That's how you do it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. That's very kind. The glasses.
Agent says, I did not expect to be learning all of this morning, but I have a new appreciation for the medium.
Oh, thank you.
Makeup is a
Yes.
science.
it is like people tend to be like, oh, it's just like
makeup.
just makeup, but when you look at it like very technically, like, yeah, it's like any type of art. It's just your canvas is your face, and you have to look into color theory and color placement and just like illusion work and all of that.
Yeah.
Which contour and highlighting is like illusion work. It's just everyday illusion work. It's not like mimless type illusion work, but it's everyday illusion work. Does this advice work? Yes. So what I've done on Mel so far, you could totally do with a guy. For guys, when you contour your cheeks, there's something that you like to do because you like the...
I love the sharp.
Yeah, you like the shape of it. For guys, so what I tend to do is I avoid bringing the contour past the middle of the eyes for girls because it will define their jawline a little bit more and it will make it seem a little bit more masculine. Whereas for guys, so you can actually see the shade here. This line, I don't know if it's really, there we go, it's really visible or not, but this line that goes down, if I was doing makeup on a guy, I would actually do a lot of definition here and then put a little bit on this side as well to make it seem so their face is like much thinner and like very defined, like the jawline, the way people
like
enjoy
the chiseled
the
look.
chiseled, the chiseled
okay.
look. That's exactly what people
the
like.
Greek god statue.
The Greek.
But it's a thing.
It is a thing. Yeah, it totally works for guys. It's just like for example, you might just not be looking for the same result as a girl would. A girl might prefer a softer look, or like for example, you like the pointy look, but some people might not like bringing the contour down too much or stuff like that.
I like giving myself like a masculine shape because I like pointy head. I like it. So I keep like over contouring to make myself look sharp.
So if I would go back to the long face, so originally we're always taught to be like, oh, do it in a 3 shape. But when there's a face that is much longer than it is wider, you want to shorten it. So therefore, shading the sides of the forehead is just gonna make it look even thinner. And when you look at the overall proportion, it's gonna look even longer. So what you want to do when you have a long face shape, if you want, of course, if you want to shorten it, is only shade the top of the forehead.
Oh my god, we reached the goal. I'm so sorry, I didn't even see. Thank you so much.
We did?
I didn't even
I didn't.
Thank you. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kaljam. Oh my gosh, you must have just tipped us over the edge. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I'm so sorry I missed that. Oh my gosh, guys, there will be an extra stream next week. I will be doing a reference subscriber look. We'll sort that out at the end of today's stream. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry I missed it. Now I have to think of something to do.
Yeah, you have to think of a theme now.
Thank you. I'm so sorry I didn't realise. Thank you so much. We were being too sciencey. Thank you so much. Science took over and no, it's completely my fault. Thank you so much, guys. There'll be an extra stream next week for that. So thank you. Okay.
3 streams. 3 doses of milk next week.
I'm considering doing more.
Oh my god.
Work.
Just every day. Just Mel is just gonna go live every single day. So yeah, for a long face, you wouldn't actually shade the sides the way people usually tell you to do. They would actually shade the top of the forehead to bring it down. Like I've said for my forehead, if I wanted to bring it down, I would just shade the top. Because it would bring that back, and therefore it would make it seem like thinner. If we move down to the cheekbones, so that's what we said about the forehead. Just decide overall, like the overall proportion of your face. Forehead is like mostly about the overall proportion. Is like, okay, your forehead is high, but your face is short. What do you want to do? Do you want to elongate your face? Do you want to just shorten the forehead? And you shade depending on what results you want to get. When it comes to the cheekbones, so there again, it also depends on the overall proportions, which is what is most important is how this dimension is compared to this one. For example, I have a very round shape, like a very short face. So what I want to do is elongate it. So if I were to take a brush and I feel underneath the bone, okay, this would be how my contour would be. This would be the way it would be. However, I actually want to make the face a little bit longer. Therefore, I want to bring everything down. I want there to be a downward movement with the shading that I do. So instead of shading it this way, I'm just going to very slightly bring it down. Just a tad bit. It was this way originally. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit.
More to like the corner of your lip.
Yeah, more to the corner, like towards the corner of my lip. Basically just make sure that the line is actually just, there's a whole like downward movements, and that will actually create the illusion that your face is longer and it's elongated. Thank you so much, Dart UK. Just wondering, is it something you ask a client as well, or do you... Oh, as in like what they prefer? No, not usually. When you do a client, it usually depends like on what you're doing it for. If you're doing it for fashion, you'll tend to go for like either a heart or an oval face shape, like as your goal.
The ideals.
Yeah, the ideals. Face shape. Usually it's more like, oh, you observe the face shape of your client and being like, how can I make this very harmonious and like balance out the proportions a bit more. You rarely ask like the client, like for example, you like it very chiseled. A makeup artist probably wouldn't do it as chiseled as you would.
Whereas I'm like, I'm gonna start at the angle
just do
here
more
and just go straight.
Put more shading.
More and make it blue.
And make it yes, I'm changing the angle. So because I want to bring my face down. The other thing with the opposite of round would be a long face shape. You want to make the face shorter. Therefore, you want to sort of cut that downward movement that they already have in their face. So even if, for example, their cheekbone would be very like, even if their bone was like this, you would actually bring it up. You would want it to be more horizontal. More, just more. You would want it to be more horizontal because you want to cut that face shape in half to sort of interrupt that downward movement so that it actually seems shorter. For you, I would actually just, you could, for example, since you like it quite long, you could bring it like a bit downward. So instead of doing it, your natural shadow is like, for example, here. If I feel around for your bone, it's like here. Mm-hmm. I could bring it like this, just ever so slightly. And I was like, yes.
Sure.
Please. Okay. So that's the second portion of your face. So as you see, we're not like working and being like, oh, this is how you need to shade the round face shape. We're working like, this is your forehead, this is your cheekbones, and the last part is the jaw. So again, it both depends on what you want. Like do you want like a thin, I forgot the word. Chin. Oh my god. The French word was just like in my head, like, yeah, that's not what you want to say. That's not the right word.
Wrong language.
Wrong language. The chin depends on like, do you want a wider chin like me? Do you want a thinner chin the way Mel does? Do you want a downward movement? Do you want like a very defined jawline, a square jawline? Or would you rather have it more rounded?
You can have any chin you want.
You can have any chin you want, okay?
Whichever one you want, you can have it.
And then also, you need to always think about the proportions of being like, for example, if your face is really long, you might want to actually shade underneath the chin to bring that up and shorten your face. Do you want to stab people with your chin?
Yes.
Don't ask Mel that. The answer is yes. Where did I put the... Oh, there it is. So I'm going to be using powder. Same thing. So the highlight is just the opposite of that. When you want to make something... Contour, make something thinner, shorter, hides it a bit more. Highlight, and by highlight, I don't actually mean the shiny highlight that we tend to use nowadays. I just mean a lighter color. That will actually make something more visible, wider, larger, all that. For example, if your forehead, like some people have foreheads that are really, really short, they might actually want to highlight that, the center of their forehead, to make it seem like higher. So, I'm gonna use just a brush with the contour. So for you, Mel, there's not much that needs to be done all that much, to be honest, because you have like the sort of the heart. Mel's like, yes.
Stop it.
The heart face shape. If I wanted to bring you closer to that oval face shape, what I would do is I would contour here. I wouldn't contour so much around the jawline because it's already defined and I don't want to define it more. I would want to round everything up, so I would round it up by shading right underneath the chin to shorten it a little bit. When I do the contour, Kim Kardashian does this really well for something, like that's what they do. I would actually round it a little bit to create like more round cheeks, like healthy, you know, like
like bouncier cheeks.
The bouncy cheeks.
Okay.
Kim Kardashian does that. Like her cheeks are very bouncy. And you see it in the way he does her contour. Like he contours.
Should we show that picture?
We can if you want. I don't know if you can actually see it.
I'm not sure, but let's have a look. Okay,
yeah,
so
you
this
can
is
sort
him.
of see it. You can sort of see it here. That contour is actually
Comes round
it's like
a bit.
it's like a C. And when you see the end of the picture, it's like a very like this part right here is very highlighted, and you can tell that it's like round instead of like coming straight down the way you'll see it, like for example on magazine covers. I'm not gonna go into the nose contour because that's very like
Nose contour is tricky and hard. And I
it's
find
tricky.
It's very easy to make yourself have a broken nose.
And also I find that it's very obvious for every day.
Yes.
On pictures it works really, really well. And then as soon as you wear it out, like, I'm sorry, but if you put like a brown line here, like it'll look good when you look forward, but as soon as you turn to the side, it's like...
It's like, oh, there's brown.
There's brown! We can tell. Yeah, that's how he contours her face. And you can like also, even if her forehead is like pretty high, you can tell that he doesn't shade all that, he doesn't shade as much here.
Yeah.
As he does to the sides, because he wants to make her face look very slim. And you.
I think the problem that happened, although as you've rightly said it made contouring more popular, is that this photo basically got released.
Yeah.
And everyone copied it. Because they thought that's how you did
Yeah,
makeup.
yeah.
But that's just for her face. Don't do this because you don't have her face, unless you seemingly have exactly the same. It's quite unlikely. Unless you seemingly have the exact same face and you want the exact same face shape. But what kind of happened was everyone saw this as the rule and everybody did it, and for a while a lot of people looked quite odd.
Yeah. And they did it without like necessarily the technical knowledge of how to do it, so they would like, because he applied a lot, but I suspect that he really knows how to blend it properly, whereas people I think struggle a lot. Like I wouldn't be able to blend this out. That's too much product for me.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, why? I wouldn't do that.
P6 says you have dirt on your nose from her.
Oh, I love that reference.
And Snuggle says contour generally is just not subtle at all IRL, or can it ever look natural? It can. Definitely look natural.
It can. I can't tell much, but I have contour.
Yeah.
On right now, a little bit. I have underneath my chin as well, and a little bit on the sides of my forehead.
That's a good point. Dusty says Kim is always being photographed.
She is. Yeah.
It's quite a sad life, but yeah.
She is. Yeah, I don't think she does her makeup like that when she's like hanging out at her house or anything.
I don't know. Just chilling.
Just chilling.
Bake me.
Bake. No, yeah, I think it's very suitable for photography. When you do contour for every day, the point is to like blend it out easily. I'm going to use powder simply because since you have acne scars and they end like right in the area where your contour is supposed to be, if I were to use cream, it would actually just remove all the work that I did before.
Okay.
So I use powder, and I powdered that area as well with the skin color powder, so that I don't like wipe away too much of the work when I blend it in. If you really struggle blending in your contour, tip, don't blend it downwards, blend it upwards. People tend to blend it like they apply it here and then they blend it a bit downwards, and that just makes this whole area look very muddy. Don't put too much, first of all. This thing where you just take the stick and you swipe it, I don't personally like that technique at all. because I find that it applies so much product, and then you're just like, oh god, I need to blend all of this now.
I feel like you've just taught me so much, because whenever I do it, I'm like, yeah, so I draw it here, and then I'm like, halfway through blending it, I'm like,
why would it blend more?
is this ever gonna go?
What I do is I will swipe this on the back of my hand and then take a brush. This is like a thin brush. This is actually a Zoeva brush. It's like one of my top favorites now. But I will take a brush, dip it in the contour, and then blend it as I go. And I will build it up little by little, because applying this directly, I will look muddy because I will put too much, and then I'll be like, oh crap, like where do I, like, to blend the product, when you blend a product, you're moving it. Technically, you're moving it around, and you're like, you'll apply it like in a thin line, and as you blend it, you'll just be moving the edges a little bit further and further.
Spreading it.
You're spreading it, basically. So if you put it like a lot, then basically at one point you're just be like, well, where do I move it now? I've like covered up my whole cheek with brown, with brown contour.
Did I do it right?
So I recommend, if you struggle with that.
Feels like I'm too much genius getting schooled right now.
But the thing is, okay, it really depends on the product that you're using. Depends on the product. Yeah, Theo, exactly. Liquids are easier to blend. Yes, exactly. So I would say it depends on the product. Some of them are very, very sheer and blend like seamlessly. But when you're in doubt, or when you're using a product and you notice that you're struggling quite a lot with it, I do recommend putting it on the back of your hand first, and then just like blending it little by little and adding more and more. Tansa!
Oh my goodness gracious, 18 months, holy wow, thank you so much.
New badge, oh my god, yes.
Yes, look at it, oh damn. I'm really excited, I get really excited when I see the new badge.
Yes. How are you doing, Tansa?
Thank you. Sorry, I missed a question there. Does the dot thing work? Always thought that would be impossible to blend.
It depends on the product, I think. Some products blend like really, really fast.
And then Snuggle says, I think the dot thing was just Instagram clickbait. If you,
Yeah, I saw that.
And it can be quite cakey.
I think people still do it on every day, but I think it really, really depends on the product. Like, I avoid those techniques simply because I prefer working up, so it takes a long time because you're like applying a little bit and then being like, okay, now I need to apply a little bit more and a little bit more until you get to the point where I'm just like, yes, okay, this is what I want. The dot technique can work if it's a very, very blendable product. The thing I don't like with the dot technique is that technically you're putting as much product here as you are putting here.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
And that's not, like, when you do contour, technically you want, when I will apply this, I will dip into the product and I will start here and then bring it in. I want the concentration of product to be here and then have it fade out as I go inwards. So when you do the dot technique, you're basically putting as much product on the inside of your face as you are on the outside. So I would think, I mean, I don't think it's impossible. People manage it very well. I just think that if you are struggling to blend your contour, it's not like the best technique to do.
How much of an impact does oral posture make towards a certain look? Are there major differences between makeup or a face that is mostly standing still versus one that is quite animated? For example, somebody who's giving a speech or a singer. I guess this is a bit like photography versus film, right? And that kind of a...
That's a very interesting question. I don't think there's major differences. I just think that when the face is standing still, you have a lot more liberty to create an illusion work that you know won't suddenly break because the person won't be moving. So that's what I said about earlier, like the volumes. Like you can hide a volume when that person is just still. And that, like, the eyeliner is like the perfect example that when I said like you have to choose whether you want it to be straight when your eyes closed or eye open. So there's like the illusion work will work very well when the person is still. Whereas when the person is like moving around or for movies and everything, then you have to just be like, was there a biker?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't know.
Now
I know why you don't notice it. Oh my god,
I'm
I didn't even
what
hear it.
siren?
I didn't notice that. Yeah, when the person is moving around, then you won't concentrate as much as being like, okay, I need to hide this, because you know that the illusion will break as soon as the person like moves a little bit. But I don't think like you necessarily have to do their makeup dramatically different. But yeah. So contour, for people with dry skin, I do recommend cream contour. I think it's easier to blend when you apply it with a brush, like on the back of your hand first. It's also easier to sheer out when you've gone over the top.
Too much, June. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
too much. It's very easy to sheer out because all you have to do is just take your foundation brush again and just swipe it over a little bit and it just sheers it out. Whereas powder, it's always a little bit more difficult. However, powder is good when you have any acne scars in that area, because if you use cream, it will just move around everything. And it's also really good when just for ease. I mean, people find this a lot easier and a lot quicker as well. Like on days that I don't want to make any effort, I just go for powder and just like. Okay, I've actually put this right. So yeah, if I wanted to make Mel's face shorter, I would just put it here, and that's it. I wouldn't actually shade around here. Actually, what I would do to make the face rounder is I would actually use this powder, the lighter powder, in this area here to make it stand out, and therefore seem rounder.
Where is the contour set from?
This one is from Makeup Forever, but I think it's been discontinued.
What other brand would you probably go for?
Honestly,
if you could pick any, what brand would you go for?
I don't know. I've heard that Fenty has really good colors. So the thing with the hardest part about bronzer is the color, because like people tend to buy bronzer and then do contour with bronzer, which you can if you want. But contour is supposed to look like a shadow on your face. It's not supposed to
look like this brown.
Yeah.
Glittery.
Yeah. No, but the thing with like bronzer is that it tends to have a lot of orange in it or a lot of red in it, because it's like, oh, this is what your face would look like if it was bronze. But the thing is, your contour shade, like the natural shadows that you see in your face, wouldn't be the same color that your face becomes when it becomes tanned. So it really depends on your undertone. This one is quite nice because it's neutral. The problem I find is that you just have to test out with certain people. Some people, the redder shades look good, and with other people, it's the more like neutral shades like this that look better. You just kind of have to test around, I find. This one actually looks pretty good on you. If anything, I'd say it maybe a bit too red, even just a tad bit.
But it still looks so faint.
Yeah, it does.
Hi, Laura.
Laura! Oh, didn't get the, it's Makeup Forever. But I think it's been discontinued. I think so. I like, got it right before.
Oh! Sleepy Laura, thank you so much, my lovely. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I think I like snatched up like the last ones they were selling.
You're like, give me.
Because I saw someone use it and I was like, I need that. That looks really good.
That's really important that I have that actually, so.
That was horrible, like in makeup school, the amount of money you'd spend on makeup, because you'd see people using makeup all day, and then it'd be like, oh, you need this, and then you'd be like, okay, great, I don't have that, and then you just go out and buy it, and then like you'd spend like thousands of, I mean, I was like trying to be careful, but I saw people like spend thousands and thousands of euros on makeup simply because like we'd do a class and the teacher would use the product and they'd be like, oh, I need that, I want that, and it's
I've
like,
got to have that.
I got to have that, yeah. Could you shade your face a bit twice? Yeah.
I feel like that's the thing with makeup. I think it's very easy to get carried away with having certain products because you think you need everything.
Oh! Fucking hell. Oh my god.
Thank you so much, Killer Panda.
Oh, it's Killer Panda. Hi, Killer Panda.
Thank you.
Please don't do this when I'm doing her lipstick.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you.
One less neighbor. Oh my god. Everyone
Thank
who's
you.
like on the front page watching this, like, what the hell just happened? You just
1.6 people worldwide just jumped.
just being like, oh my god.
Hang on, I'm gonna. If somebody can please, and who is watching from the UK, could you please send a screenshot of the front page and put it in Discord so that I can like get someone to tweet them out at some points as well? Is that okay?
Is everyone in
so
chat
we can
okay?
see. That's what I was trying to get on this one.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get the thumbnail to change on here. So please, if anybody can do that, thank you so much. Is everyone in chat okay? We all recovered. Thank you so much, Killer Panda. Thank you. That's very,
I can
very
imagine
kind of
how
you.
this sounds when you have your headphones on. Because even without the headphones, that was
Yeah.
just like...
Yeah, my initial reaction when I get a jump scare is headphones off, and it's always like me getting the headphone.
Oh, yeah.
Did someone ban you?
What? I don't see that.
I can't see a ban. Get over it, Chris. You have been permanently banned. Well,
What?
it was loud with headphones. Yes. It's usually
Yeah.
like I usually wear headphones, and I also find it very loud. I'm taking screenshots of the front page. Okay. The 2 bands I have are in this channel.
I feel like this
Yeah.
channel is very like ban happy. It's like
Yeah, I mean,
we just ban and unban people like in the space of like
I'm like, your joke wasn't funny.
we can make it 3 jumps and just like if you want to be banned, I can just keep going. Another thing with powder products, okay, that's the thing, is the amount of pressure you put on the skin. So I find that like a lot of people when they use powder products, they'll be blending like this.
Yes, brush pressure was something I learned 2
Yeah.
years ago, and it changed my life.
I blend like this. Okay, I used to not blend like this. I learned this in makeup school, but I blend like this, and even lighter when it comes to like eye makeup. Because as soon as you start pushing the brush into the skin, the probability of it skipping, then oh my god.
Bamboozle said she wanted her band virginity taken, so
God.
Lindsay took it.
I feel like LNZ is having the fun he couldn't have when we were banning him over and over. He's just being like, my turn now. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been banned before, so I do not know what chat looks like.
Oh, it just says you have been permanently banned from this channel and you just can't chat. It's pretty funny. I think I got banned. I've been banned in the stream a few times.
You just jam your brush into the eye.
Oh, thank you so much, Lazar. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you.
That actually felt a little bit devastating. Oh my god. Bamboozle traumatized by the ban.
I thought devastating is such a great word to use.
Oh.
Bamboozle sat there with like, you literally hurt your own feelings.
Okay, so I feel okay. It's
Oh,
this side that I
this
need
is
to
you
work.
banned.
Yeah, so I find that when the brush pressure is lighter, you can actually blend a lot easier because you're not putting as much pigment at the same time rather than just being like, okay, here's all of the pigment at once, then blend it. It's the same thing that I was talking about with the cream contours, like putting all the pigment at once and then being like, oh, now I need to blend that.
Now I need to move it.
Rather than just
somewhere.
blending as you go. Oh,
She
guys,
is a
thank you
part
so
of a
much.
stream.
Yeah, if you like 17-hour long streams, then come to my channel.
Yes.
We stream until 6:30 a.m.
At least it's like, I want every time zone.
That's the thing. Okay, I sort of like really hate it, but really love it at the same time. I hate it because I'm like extremely tired, but then I love it because as I stream, I see like people from Europe being like, okay, I'm going to bed now, and then I see people from the US being like, okay, I need to go as well, like good night, and then I see people from Korea being like, hi,
Good morning!
I'm like, it's 6:30 a.m. Hi. saying like 20 minutes, and now I've been like, I want to change my uptime command.
Just
To just send back 20 minutes.
At least the streams are so long that now everybody's joke within them is, it's fine, we've only been live for 20 minutes. It's been like 7, and at the bottom of the stream it says like 7 hours, like 2 minutes. So I've only been live for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I just like, alright, you know, I've actually got like 20 minutes left. And 6 hours later.
Yeah, but now I'm really hesitating. Like creating two commands, being like uptime. And uptime is the one that everyone uses, and have it just always give back 20 minutes, and then real uptime being actually the real.
You need like uptime kappa.
Yeah.
Like, 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Kappa, kappa, kappa.
So I lovely 20 minutes so far on the front page. Oh my god. Yeah. I need to get better at that. It's not that I need to get better at the time, I just need to get better at like starting my stream at a normal hour. So I start a bit too late.
Yeah.
And then I find myself being like, oh
no.
I'm going to bed at 8:30 a.m. Oh no, I need to wake up at noon because I have to go see Mel.
Oh, Traventus, thank you so much for stopping by. It's lovely to see you.
Okay, so I'm gonna take another brush with a bit of the light shadow, because what I've noticed on, especially, so this side, is that there's a shadow here. I don't even know if it's that visible, but there's a shadow here I'd like to remove a little bit. So I'm going to highlight it with a matte powder that's a bit lighter than Mel's skin tone.
Dusty says that Mel's like, where are you? And Elise's like, 20 minutes.
That's what I'm just going to answer now. I'm just going to troll Mel. Every time you ask me, where are you?
Oh, Devan just says, wow, is it legal to have this much talent in one room?
How much
is the insurance? Thank you so much, dear. Thank you.
Okay. So we didn't put that much contour. I rarely go like above that.
But you can see like the shadow.
You can see, yeah. The thing is like, okay, the thing that you have is also you have that on that side. You have like a little
like an
scar.
indent. Yeah.
Yeah. And so scars are always like, no matter where they're placed on your face, they will be a little bit more annoying. Especially actually when they're on the cheeks, because they create like a shadow that's even darker than the shadow that you're putting on. So it will create like an illusion of being like, oh wait, is that contour like